The 365 Pro Wrestling.
365 Nation, Eddie Osborne here. This is episode number 85 of the 365 Pro Wrestling Podcast. And today my guest has been wrestling about 15 years now. He's won multiple championships throughout North America. He's been a bearded dragon, an ego and an icon, a wild stallion. He's a Wiseman. This is Uncle Daddy, Tony Baroni.
Hello, Eddie.
How's it going, man?
It's going. I'm bored. I'm a little bored. I'm not gonna lie.
It's been a long time since we've had some pro wrestling action. How you biding this time?
I share a place. Me and my wife with my sister-in-law and her better half. Him and I converted our garage into a gym, so we've just been in the gym grinding it out, trying to keep in shape, just in case wrestling just appears out of nowhere. Just in case we get to do it on a whim.
Everyone else is getting fat. You guys are just kicking it to another level. I love it.
That's what I'm trying to do. Well, these kids are athletic and they're good. This is a great time for me to get a leg up on them again.
For sure. And the kids you're talking about are everybody in pro wrestling now, but also specifically the Lionsgate Dojo kids are ripping it up. Like you have like two waves coming at you right now.
That's true. Young talent coming up. We have some new guys that would be on shows right now if it wasn't for COVID. There's a couple guys, Coco Flash, Shook Smash. They were almost ready for show, like full-time shows. Zero G, Evan Rivers, Smash Bolt. They're killing.
We talk about like Travis and Beef and all these guys, like Vor's Reloaded, all these guys. But now you have a second wave coming, and I'm like, I got to work harder just to get on these goddamn shows.
Me too, man.
I love it, man. What's your favorite part about training? Like, what got you to that phase of training people?
Well, I started training people by accident. What happened was it was Fergie and Pesky's class. They were training, and the trainers at the time were, I believe, Artie, Scotty, and Randy. Artie got injured. At the same time, Randy took a hiatus. The only coach was Scotty. So Ferg and Pesky were like, hey, man, like run a class or two. I'm like, yeah, okay. I've never considered myself to be good enough to train anyone, but I can run a workout. It's like, yeah, I'll go in there and I'll help you guys work out. We'll work on some stuff, have some fun. And then I just kind of kept doing it.
And you were trained by Artie, Lush, and Creed?
That's correct. Yes. I started training in 2007. And my first match was in 2008. But I have a sweet splash of backyarding before that as well. Some people count it, some people don't. I'll count it as damage at least, right? And like remembering spots.
Man, without backyard wrestling, I probably never would have gotten to pro wrestling. I would have never made the leap to a school and to where I am now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Honestly, I'd rather train yarders than they can already, like, even if they're bumping improperly, even better, right? That means they can take a beating and it won't matter. They're good to go, right?
They already have the passion. They want to go, like you said. So I get it.
Yeah.
How did everything start for you? I heard something about like Royal Rumble 90.
Sort of. Yes, it was a VHS tape. I had a sleepover with a new friend, and he showed me Royal Rumble 90 on the first sleepover. I'm like, oh, wow, like this is pretty cool stuff. I knew of pro wrestling. I think my earliest memory is King Kong Bundy and the 5-count thing, and I saw it once, and I was like, I don't know what this is, whatever. Then, I had the sleepover and watched Royal Rumble 90. I'm like, oh, wow, that was rad. Then the next sleepover, which was like a few weeks later, he showed me WrestleMania 6, which was the next pay-per-view after Royal Rumble 90, and it was Hogan Warrior. That's it. I'm in. I'm all in. Demolition beat Colossal Connection, and then Warrior beats Hogan. These crazy guys in face paint. Like, yeah, mark me down.
So good. And did you like them because they were like comic books and you're so into like that culture?
Absolutely. Like if anyone pays attention to my social media, they know I like superheroes and action figures and stuff. And yeah, it's like a live comic book.
Who were your favorites? Like, was it just the Warrior and like Demolition, or was everybody a superhero and everybody like, I love these guys, but fuck these guys?
Honestly, I've always really liked the heels. Like, I loved Rick Martel as a kid. I thought he was hilarious. I mean, with my own wrestling, I love to play a coward because it's hilarious to me. And I've always thought these guys who were cowards or like cheap were super funny. So I always liked Martel and like Rick Rude. When I first started watching Mr. Perfect, like all these guys who are great at showing ass, I really dug those guys. Other than baby faces, like the Warriors and Demolition and guys like that.
Man, they're so good. And those are people who I like would recommend people watch now, like the Martels and the Rudes and like those type of wrestlers, because they really have the whole package.
Martel has this match with Coco Beware, the opening match of WrestleMania 6, and it's nothing spectacular, but it punches home like basic psychology. There's a shine, there's a cutoff, there's a heat, there's a comeback, and there's a sweet dirty finish. Like it's A to Z, and it's like I said, like nothing spectacular, but it was 1990, so there's like a top rope drop kick. That's pretty sweet. Then a good little match.
Man, and is that what you're gonna teach the students today? Like getting those basics down and like having some character?
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely like the character and psychology coach of the Lionsgate Dojo. We kind of have it broken up. Like Artie's obviously the tech guy, and Cat and Sway, they hit the beginners with the basics, and I do a lot of psychology and character stuff.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Who are some people like who you didn't think were gonna make it, but actually busted their ass and got to matches?
Definitely Parm Strowman.
Yep.
I even told him to his face, like I had zero. I thought he wasn't going to do anything. Ref for sure, but that'd be it. And he definitely changed my opinion. He's one of those guys.
I apologize to him about that, because I'm like, I thought you were going to be a ref forever, man. I didn't really take you seriously, but you must have been working your ass off because you're doing good things.
Absolutely, yeah. He busted ass, and I love being proven wrong with guys like that. Like, please prove me wrong. If I have a bad first impression of you, and like, I will change my first impression of you if you do the things that he did. Like, yeah, like he busted his ass, and he's having matches. He's not going to be, on every show all the time, but like that 6-man he had, excuse me, in the West, he got the hugest pop.
He's so solid. Now, has wrestling training changed a ton since you've been around? Like, do you see a big difference from when you started to how you're teaching now?
Oh, 100%. At least for our school. Like, when I first broke in, there was like the 500 squat-a-thons and like topping the rookies in the corner for the graduation and stuff like that. I'm all for weeding out the weak, but you can do it with exercise. You can do it with grinding as opposed to, more bullying or just like, I don't want to watch people do 500 squats and I don't want to do 500 squats. So, we'll get a good warm up and like get yourself in shape if you want to be serious. I'll teach you to wrestle. And not like that we don't do cardio in class, but like, man, 500 squats eats up a lot of class time.
It does indeed. I remember you guys came to VIPW. I didn't know you very much at all at this time, but you guys were doing a class beforehand. You were just rolling around, and you guys had an insane amount of rolls, like so many different variations off the ropes on your shins. Like, I was just blown away by it all.
I appreciate that. I didn't know that was. That's just how I was trained. Like Nelson Creed and Artie had so many rolls, and I'm no inventor. Like I'm just doing how I learned, right? But then like you said, like I came over to VIPW and did them, and then I did a class for in one of the schools in Seattle a few years back, and then they were like, "Oh, the Tony Baroni roll class," and it's like that's not mine at all. But thanks, like I'm glad you enjoy it. I like the rolls and all the variations. It's all about like being able to control your body because it's so important in the ring. Like if a move's going awry and you can recognize it and you can control your body and change your landing, that could be the difference between a career going and a career ending.
Now, what are you saying to people who want to join? Because you guys have a tryout and it's a pretty damn hard tryout. So what do you say to anyone who's aspiring to be a pro wrestler?
Don't think just because pro wrestling is a work that it's easy. It's very, very hard. So show up in shape. Show up with a good attitude, and don't quit on yourself. That'll impress me more. If you're at the tryout and you're dying, but you're dragging yourself through it, you might pass. But if you quit, that's it. Like, you're done. I'm not going to let you join back in later once you quit on something. Like, I don't accept quit. I'd rather you try to the very end than quit on yourself.
And that could be like anything in life. As long as you keep trying. I love it. I love that attitude. When you first started wrestling, what was your first match?
My first match in front of a paying audience was actually, it was an NWA revival tour.
Oh, wow.
And it was in Penticton. I got me and at the time Manther, he's now Big Hurt Alan Jepson. We got hired to do ring crew. We were very green. I hadn't had a match on a show, obviously, if this is what we're talking about. But I had a couple student show matches and one like a special adventures match for like a charity deal. So we went up there to do ring crew, but as I was trained, I was told never not have your gear. Always have it with you. So I brought my gear. And apparently Rob Conway and Viscera were supposed to be on this show, but they no-showed. So me and Manther end up opening the show, and there's 5,000 people at the show. Kevin Nash and Lance Cater in the main. Yeah, this is my first match.
Wow, that's a hell of a first match, man.
Yeah, we had a first match. Didn't know what I was doing. Like I'm the heel and I'm doing suicide dives in the heat, and like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to pop the NWA guys. They got to the back, and I was like, I was indie-rific, but, maybe the teal shouldn't dive and, low blow in the first match. Like, okay, that's probably, that makes sense. Now that I look back, I'm like, why didn't I know that? But,
sure.
But yeah, and then I get to the back, and Nash is like, did you leave anything out there for us, kid? And me being, green and young, I'm just, smiling. I can't say anything. What I wish I said was, yeah, I went in there, gut kicked him, jackknife powerbomb, kicks out at one, something like that. Just I wonder how he would have reacted to some fucking rookie kid giving him sass, but
he'd probably either kill you or love you.
Yeah, one of the two, right? It's definitely one or the other.
In those early days, who did you like? Who did you learn a lot from in the ring when you were wrestling them?
Ooh, that's a good question. I was back when I started, there was a lot less promotions around in BC and in Washington. I think there was 2 in BC, and there was not much going on in Washington State. So I was going on to Portland to wrestle for DOA quite a bit at the beginning. And I wrestled a guy by the name of Aaron Bolo a bunch, and I wrestled Mike Santiago a bunch, and I wrestled with Ethan HD a bunch. And I learned a lot from those guys. And then I learned a lot of stuff when I first feuded Bish, when I turned babyface. We had a good run. Also, him and I were doing DOA at the time. So we were driving back and forth 5 hours each way to wrestle, and then also having a feud roughly around the same time in ECW. So I learned a lot from Bish. Then, of course, Artie. He's one of my best mates. So I've been learning from Artie and bouncing stuff off each other for the decade and some change. But yeah, that's probably at the top of my head. Hopefully, I'm not leaving anyone out.
It's always hard when I don't give you the questions and you have no preparation for these things.
That's true.
It does. Now, what gave you the urge to be like, I'm going to join a school and go and do this? Okay,
so I started backyarding. Well, I guess I started backyarding in high school, and me and buddies would pull out the mattresses at house parties, or when someone's mom wasn't home, we'd have matches. And then for me, that moved to me and my buddy Logan from the same group of guys. Now there's only 2 of us that are still interested. Everyone else is kind of they're kind of over it. Me and my buddy Logan find VBW, Vancouver Backyard Wrestling. So we joined that league, if you want to call it, and we wrestled there for a bit. And then we ended up hooking up with a lot of the guys who became the 3-2-1 Battle guys. And they backyarded renting ASW school. So they would rent the ring. So they were backyarding in an actual ring. So okay, that's a lot better than wrestling in this homemade ring made of tires and wood. And I kind of like these guys a bit better. Seem to be getting on with them. So I started backyarding with those guys. And then this is the era of the message boards, right? You remember message boards?
I do indeed. I'm old.
Yes. So so in this era, there was a website called the Backyard Wrestling Link. And it was where everyone would upload their backyard wrestling stuff, and everyone from around the world would watch each other's backyard stuff, and everyone kind of became buddies on these message boards. And then that ended up. There was a few elsewhere. I never traveled to backyard. I only did it in BC. But there was a thing called Backyard Fest, and it would happen every once in a while in other places. Backyard Fest ended up being in BC this one year. And so tons of yarders flew themselves in. So we had a huge roster, which means we had the biggest crowd we ever had backyarding. And after the Backyard Fest and like a huge crowd, just like a big event, I was like, okay, I got to wrestle in front of more than just like 10 people. Like having a big crowd was fucking sweet. So I went to the ECCW school. I saw that Artie was teaching people. Disco was teaching people at the time. Phantasmo was helping train people. So I'm like, okay, I'll train with these guys. And I came in halfway through a class. So whose class? It was like the Manther, Hellion was in this class. Came halfway through. King of the Yukon was in there. So I came halfway through their class, but I wasn't quite ready to graduate when they graduated, I was told. So I had to wait for the next class.
Man, it's crazy to me because you already knew about all the trainers, all this stuff, because you guys had your own thing going. And like when I first started, like I didn't even know there was any other backyards. Like we met Cremator one time. Like we live about an hour and a half apart. I'm like, what the hell? There's other people who do this stuff. So for you guys to have like a league across the world and like sharing your matches, and I know there's some pretty big names who are a part of that thing. Like it's just wild to me.
Big names, man. It is wild. I've met a few guys that's like, oh wow, you ended up becoming, doing the same thing. It's crazy.
No, it's wild. Now, throughout the years, you said you had that great feud with Bishop, but you also had a pretty cool feud recently with Cat Power. Like, how was that feud? You had the whole thing all the way up to the hair match.
Yeah, that feud was a lot of fun. I think we really put over the girl wrestlers, just like as they're being tough as the guys. But I think we told a fun story, like me being the only male women's champion. I still think is hilarious.
Oh, people hated it though in the crowd. It was awesome heat.
They were definitely mad. And then I had a few title defenses. I got to wrestle Kate Carney in a 1-on-1, which I wouldn't typically get to do. And actually, we had a fun little match too. It was right before she moved off to the East Coast. Yeah, and then I mean, not to toot my own horn, which I don't do very often, but I think that my reaction when I quote unquote woke up from losing my hair, maybe my finest performance, it still makes me laugh. But that goes back to what I said earlier about like how much I love playing a coward, and like, I really sink my teeth into those moments in matches.
I thought it was really cool. Just with the wig and everything after, like you kept it going and got the robe and like it was just good stuff. And like you were with Ill Bill and Bill's already brushing his hair. Now you got a sweet wig. I'm like, it's just pretty wild. I know it didn't last long after, but it was so much fun to me.
Yeah, well, the plan was to wear the wig for a lot longer, but then I just kind of realized like I look like I'm looking greasier with the shaved head anyway, and I don't know. I just kind of roll with that. The hair's not growing back so good, so the long hair look is long gone for me, unfortunately. But that's kind of why we did the angle in the first place. I couldn't just get a haircut, That would be what a waste. What a waste.
100% agree.
Let me put this out there right now. If you have long hair and you're a wrestler and you don't lose it in a match, you wasted it completely. It's a waste.
Yeah. Now, is there any other feuds that really stick out to you? Like, you've been wrestling there a long time in the Pacific Northwest. You've had to battle a lot of people and had a lot of fun and some really creative stuff and just some stuff that really clicked well with you.
The Cat Power one is definitely in there. My feud with Artie, I guess from 5 years ago-ish, when I first did my heel run. That was a big one. Just wrestling like one of my best buddies in the Commodore Ballroom, which is a venue that I've seen like almost every single one of my favorite bands play. That was a pretty big deal. In our heads, when the match was over, it was awesome. And him and I are both pretty bad for our worst critics. So neither of us watched the match for a couple of years. Then we finally like, okay, it's been a long time. We should probably watch the match. Shouldn't have watched it. We both got so mad at ourselves just for like.
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ruined it for us. Should have kept it in memory.
I joined late, but coming to the Commodore was one of the coolest moments in my wrestling because it was just such an amazing venue. I don't know if people know about it yet, but like you said, so many big names played there and have been there. Then for wrestling to be there, and you guys have had 13 hours or 14.
Oh, I believe the next one should be 13. Yes.
Okay, and it's just been so huge. So to have that, like, one of your best buddies and you tearing it up there, I can only imagine what that felt like and how much fun that was.
Oh, it was the best. Probably top moment of my career is probably that. I think it's definitely a good one.
I was gonna say, I know I'm jumping around a ton here, and I'm gonna cut this up and make it all sound amazing. But talk about the awful YouTube series.
Ah, yes, Tony Baroni's awful YouTube show. Well, because of COVID-19 and wrestling being gone, I found myself with a bunch of extra time on my hands, especially in the spring months where it was all rainy and gross. And my action figure room is reaching capacity. Like, well, I've got all these figures. I should do something. And I had to figure out a way to scratch the performing itch that was lacking from pro wrestling. So I started just playing with my toys on YouTube. And it's been fun. It's definitely, I've eased once, now that the sun has come out, I've found myself missing episodes a little bit. But it'll still be going. I'm going to try and do like 2 to 3 a month. But summertime is it's tricky because it's so nice out. I want to get out there. And if there's no wrestling, I'm going to go to the lake or something.
And with the summer being gone, how upset are you, like, not being able to go to your festivals that you go to every year and like all that? Or are you just going to make it fun and go to the lake?
I mean, me and my wife had tickets to a festival that we're no longer going to, called Base Coast, which I was looking forward to going as my Christmas present. So COVID wrecked that. But we didn't get refunded. We got tickets for 2022's festival. A lot of festivals had to do that, which is a major bummer. I'm hoping my Australia trip doesn't get canceled. Is the main one. If that, I'm supposed to go to Australia with my wife in November. So there's still a chance.
Man, how long have you guys been planning that trip?
Oh, we've been planning it for about a year, probably.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a piss off for sure. And hopefully everything works out.
Yeah, I hope so. And I shot Jet Ruka a message, and he gave me some names to contact. So I'm going to try and get a match, and I'm out there just to say that I've wrestled in Australia.
That'd be awesome, man. No, I think that'd be great. On the toy show, you have on your series, you have everything. You have from like Ric Flair to like Nerf guns to I learned a whole bunch of shit about the Power Rangers. Like, oh yeah, you have every toy in the world, don't you?
Not quite. It's I have a pretty good representation of most things. I am missing that He-Man representation. I'm trying to find a decently priced He-Man figure. And G.I. Joe is lacking, but Hasbro just is releasing in July a brand new 6-inch series of G.I. Joe. They're very classic looking, but they'll be on the 6-inch scale, same as Marvel Legends, which is pretty exciting. But I'm pretty sure I have a representation of every single wrestling figure line, which is pretty cool.
That's amazing. What got you into collecting? Like, I know me, I never really collected. I had a few. I played with them. They were in a bin. But, like, you have display cases full.
I do have display cases. So it started, I've always enjoyed toys. I had a pretty good collection as a kid. And then when many males reach puberty, they discover fire. And then I lost a lot of figures to burning things. And then I started collecting a little bit, but my ex would always give me such a hard time. Like, you're a grown man, what do you have toys for? It's like, I don't know, because I fucking like these. So I'd buy them and like sometimes sneak them in the house.
Oh, man.
And try not to get caught bringing toys in the house, which sounds so ridiculous when you say it out loud. And then I got with my now wife and she's like, yeah, man, if you love toys, man, collect toys. Well, that's all I needed to hear. And then the collection went from like being, I'd say like 30 pieces to over 500 inside 10 years. Because that's allowed. That's all together. I've been with my wife for 10 years now. Yeah. So she kind of told me it's okay. If that's what you want to do it. I'm like, okay.
That's sweet. Amazing, man. And you know what? In wrestling, like, you need that supportive second or it's never going to work. So you obviously found someone really good to share life with.
Absolutely, yeah, and that it is huge. Like I have found that it's easier if you're already a wrestler, and then you find that someone, as opposed to you're with someone, then you become a wrestler. I find that what happened to me in my personal life, as well as what I've seen, it seems to be that seems to be the case. It's a lot easier when you're already the wrestler. Then the other half is used to you being on the road or being ridiculous, as we often do as wrestlers.
Oh, with you being home so much, is it different? Because I know, like, I'm home a lot more now. My family's like, you going anywhere today? I'm like, yeah, nope. I'm here to play with you guys. What's up? And they're used to me being gone, either training or on a show. So, like, is that the same in your household, or are you guys just enjoying the time together?
We're enjoying the little more time together. She works shift work. She's animal control, so she does 4 on 4 off. So quite often she's working on weekends too. So that's not, and we're both still working during the pandemic. So that's definitely, I'm sure if we're both home all day, every day, it might be different, but we both have our jobs to go to. And I always, I go in the garage and work out for a few hours. And so no, we got a good thing going.
When you said animal control, it sparked something. You have several pets as well, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Or family members, in your guys' case. I won't even say pets. You got an extended family in your house, don't you?
Well, me and the wife aren't having children. We're just going to have pets. So, yes, we have Garth and Wendy, which is our dogs, our yellow lab and golden retriever. And then we have our cat, Juno, and our bearded dragon, Felicia. And then downstairs, where my sister and brother-in-law live, they also have a dog named Hudson and a cat named Gomez. So we're actually outnumbered 6-4 in this house. Yeah, it's not bad. And no more until one of them moves on to the next dimension or whatever your ethos is on the afterlife.
How many times have you guys said no more?
My wife never, but she's the one in animal control. Haven't successfully put my foot down yet when she's like, no, we should get this animal, but I'm not that hard to convince. I love dogs and cats and stuff.
And that'll go right into VIPW, because we always stay at BJ's house. He's got some dogs. You're always playing with them, or the cat. How much fun did you have in VIPW? I know right now nothing's happening, but we'd have those island trips. What were they like for you?
I love the island trips, man. I've always had a blast. Chilling with Cremator and Rhea and like the Island Boys has always been a lot of fun. And I love that part. You go over to the island, you do a show, and you grab some beers with the boys, and then everyone crashes at one place, and we stay up way too late, and then get up all haggard and go set up the ring, and go get a nice sandwich, do it all again, stay up even later the next night, and die on the ferry on the way home. But I live for that stuff. I mean, that's my favorite stuff. I was saying, I wasn't sure if I said it to you or the King. Like, I miss wrestling at all, but what I wouldn't give to be like done 2 matches ago and be in the locker room, changed with having a beer with the boys and just like laughing it up. Maybe had a decent match. You're not bummed. Just chopping up with the fellas.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm missing. Seeing all the guys and hanging out. It's been for me probably like 3 months now. Now it's June. I'm like, it's just so long since I've seen everybody, and being on the island, I don't see anybody. But you see a couple wrestlers because you almost like hire anyone who needs a job who's not a dumb fuck.
Kinda, yeah. So there's a few like Bish is one of my drivers. He does a real good job. Beef Boy actually got transferred, but he works for the beer company as well. I see him a couple times a week. Bambi's working for me now. She's
I didn't even know that one.
Yeah, she just got on. She got on just before Christmas. Yeah, I mean the beer business is great for a wrestler because like either warehouse work or on the road delivering. It's doing what we do is like cruising around, making quick small talk, move something heavy, cruise around again. It's great for a wrestler.
I love it, man. And just how you've had so many people come through there and giving them work. When I know when I first started, it was all about wrestling and then finding side jobs. But you found like a good job where someone could stay and still do the wrestling as well, which is it's pretty fantastic.
No weekends is great. Not working weekends. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the trick. Like when you want a job that's like that'll fit around your wrestling schedule, but it's not too taxing, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's more than enough to get you by. Plus, you get your weekends off to wrestle. I mean, that's why I've been there for as long as I have. Granville Island's always been super supportive of my wrestling as well as other people's. And like, our company's been a lot of like, I don't want to say failed's the wrong word, but like there's a couple guys who fought like local MMA and a couple guys that are like in bands and like people who have like other passions, and the company's always been really good at supporting everyone's passions outside of work.
And when they do that, I'm sure like you want to work for them, you want to be there for them when they're actually putting into you, and cool that you're doing your thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like our master is a drummer in a death metal band. Like it's all similar, like-minded people.
With everything going on, once it wraps up, what do you think wrestling's going to be like? Do you think it's going to be changed, or is it still going to be the guys going out there trying to entertain people?
I think wrestling itself will stay the same once we're allowed to have people sitting that close to each other again, which I hope is before the year is over, maybe. As far as like the landscape of I don't know, well, at least all I can talk about is around here, but I'm wondering who is going to not come back, who's going to let themselves either get so far out of shape they can't come back, or who is going to find something else. And they might like we all know there's wrestlers who like it, but don't love it. And, they'll find something else and then they'll disappear. Maybe they come back a few years later and then they disappear again. And that's cool if that's what you want to do with it. Right. But I mean, like guys like you and me, I'm pretty sure we're not going anywhere anytime soon, regardless of how long this takes or even what kind of shape we get into. We're still going to go out there.
And it's just wild because it's such a long layoff, and like it feels uncomfortable because you're not used to your normal. But what are your goals when you do come back? Because you've done so much, but like what drives you for the next thing? Like, what do you want to do?
I like working with the young guys, man. I think my style is really good paired up with rookie baby faces, because I do live and die by basic psychology. I like to think I'm pretty decent at listening to the crowd, like put that rest hold on and like get them like, all right, listen, you hear them? Okay, not yet. Okay, now you hear them? Okay, now go. That kind of stuff, right? I think that's good. And I think it's also part of the coach. Like, why not? Why shouldn't that be some of their first matches if I'm one of their coaches,
100%. I agree with you. I love it. I think it's really good. I think, like you said at the very beginning, you're working up to stay in the zone with these guys and like be able to go with them. So it shows you still want it and you're still just trying to give back and be part of it and entertain.
I've, like the guys who trained me were always super good to me. And I heard horror stories of some of the stuff that they went through before me. And I had my incidents when I was agreeing with like assholes in the locker room. And it's like, I never want to be like that. I want to be the exact opposite. And like, I think that approach has positively impacted our school, at least. We're like, we're cranking out pretty decent products right now with different wrestlers doing completely different things.
And it is pretty cool. Like you were saying, like just the people are better. The locker rooms are like so much nicer. I don't know if it's maybe better is not the word, but everyone's so much nicer. And it's like, it is actually friendly and everyone's really pushing each other and having fun instead of hating on each other and fucking with everybody all the time and whatnot.
And I never got that. Like, hey, we all love pro wrestling. Let's hate each other about it. Like, what does...
Yeah, I don't get it.
That doesn't help me get better. Doesn't help you get better. That doesn't help the show get better. Like, we all should be trying to, like, put on the best show we can. And if you're all fucking butthurt in the locker room or have beef with the guy you're working with, you're never going to put on that good of a match for the crowd.
No, it took me a while to get into that mentality. Because I know when I first started, we all not in the locker room, but just for the training aspect, we used to beat the hell out of people. And I got my ass whooped in the early years. But I remember my lady telling me, she's like, you don't want to be like that guy, do you? I'm like, no. She's like, you're that guy. I'm like, oh. So I had to change my whole approach, and it seemed to work better. But let's talk about, just to wrap it up, I'd love to talk about the Wiseman, just because I think it's such a great group. I think you and Bill are like tops, and the man right now is Travis Williams. He's ripping it up.
Yeah, he sure is, man. That kid, I knew right away that kid had something. Like he gets it. He listens. When you have like a student where like he'll do a mock match for you and you'll give him critique and then the next Mox match, you see every little thing that you told him to do, and he does it. That was Travis when we were training. Like, this kid, he listens, he remembers, and he implements, and that's huge. I mean, like, I don't even like there's tons of stuff that I took me for a bit to figure out, and I feel like he picks it up. Tagging with me and Suede probably helps because we give him a lot of the knowledge.
Oh yeah,
that we were given. Well, yeah, man.
I think being with you guys has helped them huge. Like, it's such a great group. You got two so talented, and you and Bill are both very good with the crowd, and like, you're both athletic as hell, but the crowd work, and I think that's what is making Travis look so good. He's just very comfortable in front of the people, being who he is.
Well, thank you. And like, Travis joined the Wiseman kind of by necessity at the time too. It was really weird. Suede was on a trip and he was wrestling in Australia for like a year, and we needed a fourth heel tag team for like whatever ladder match. And I was like, well, I can tag with Travis. Like, he's 10 match. Travis's 10th match was a 4-way tag team ladder match.
Jesus.
I was like, you ready? You ready to go? He's like, yeah, man, let's do it. So yeah, I messaged him like, okay, get black trunks because you're my tag partner in this ladder match coming up.
Man, that's baptism by fire.
No, big time. And I remember one part in the match, it was like halfway through, and I'm thinking, fuck, I haven't seen Travis for a bit, and I see him over the side of the ring on the other side, so I kind of just sell my way over there. How you doing, kid? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. This is awesome. Sweet, glad to hear it. Take off, start brawling with somebody else. But he held his own. People would never know it was his 10th match at the time.
That's amazing. That's a huge tribute to all you guys at the dojo there. Like, that's just awesome. Now, what makes you love wrestling? Like, why do you love wrestling?
Why do I love wrestling?
I know it's kind of a loaded question. There's so many answers, but like, what's your answer?
I think it scratches a lot of itches that I have. I have an itch to perform, but I'm not that good of an actor. I have an itch to be physical. Like, I like jiu-jitsu and I like boxing and MMA and stuff, but I'm better at pro wrestling and I have a little more fun with that, but I still need that physical aspect. And then I like looking at things different ways and different ways of making the crowd feel things, because that's what we're doing at the end of the day, is we're trying to get emotion out of the crowd, whether it's happy, sad, mad, annoyed, whatever. I enjoy that part, is just different ways of doing the same thing over and over again, but in different ways, and keeping entertaining for myself and keeping entertaining for the fans.
That's awesome, man. No, I love that answer. Now, I've been all over in this one, but is there anything else you'd like to add or anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yeah, I miss wrestling. I love booing me. If you're a fan of mine, still boo me, because that's if you're a fan of a heel, boo him still. Don't cheer him, because it screws everything up. If you want to cheer him, boo him, because that's the emotion that he's going for. But enjoy wrestling. Come out. Hopefully he comes back. Hopefully I get to see you, Eddie, and I hopefully get to see all the Island boys again, because the second that it's on, I'm coming over to the Island. We're gonna tear it up. Yeah,
man. Hell yeah, man. Where can people find you online?
Find me online. You find me Tony Baroni Twitter, Tony Baroni 13 on Twitter, and Uncle Daddy Tony Baroni on Instagram.
Love it. Where did Uncle Daddy come from?
Uncle Daddy. That's actually I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Nick Pesky came up with it.
Nice.
Over drinks, and it wasn't meant to be a full-time thing. It was one of the matches with Cat Power in that feud we had. It was the first Commodore match where I won the women's title. And in Rocky IV, when Apollo Creed had like 14 nicknames.
Yes.
That's what I was
going through the list.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. So we were coming up with all these nicknames. So now we're at the Commodore, and Sweater Vest is reading my nicknames, like the biggest midgets and Velvet Thunder. And then he says Uncle Daddy, and the whole Commodore erupts, starts chanting Uncle Daddy. Like, well, it's really sweet. I'm like, well, I guess I'm Uncle Daddy now. And then I just went with it.
That's amazing, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see you again, see everybody out there. And I hope you had fun, and we'll do this again with me down the line.
Hell yeah, Eddie. Love you. Hopefully I'll see you soon.
Peace, man.
All right, brother.